What's up guys, my name is Khan and we're back today in Scrap Mechanic, and as you can see behind me we have a ton more roller coaster stuff today. So it's actually just one track, but I decided after the last roller coaster video I really wanted to test the 2x versus 1x scale. So we have our roller coaster here and we'll go around the 1x scaled track, and then I've duplicated the entire track on this same tile but scaled it up to 2x or 1.999 times. So it's identical but everything's bigger, and of course we've made a larger roller coaster just to see how the differences between the tracks are. I know Lord Payne, after talking to him about the original roller coaster design, he said that larger terrain seems to work better and you get less of the collision physics issues when you're going through some of the tight corners and stuff like that. So we're gonna get up in this roller coaster here, pretty much the same thing as before, and you know, we can just hold that one button. It's not automated, again, just going through, but this is a very large track I decided to make. I don't know why, it was quite a project. It takes a lot of effort to make a track like this. In the terrain editor you can really hone in the tiles and you can use the snap features to kind of get the tiles close together. Oh my goodness, what happened to the camera? Holy cow. Never seen that before. Okay, the camera is actually horrible, and it's very difficult. Hold on, am I on like follow cam or something? Free camera, there we go. Maybe that was the issue. Oh, are we gonna, no, we'll roll back here. Need some speed. There we go. There, that's a little bit better. The camera's still terrible. It's really difficult with this game and the camera, mainly because these aren't physical, they're terrain pieces, so it's as if you put your camera behind a rock. The game wants to kind of adjust it to make it work. But it still works out pretty well. But you can see sometimes you'll hear the kind of interactions where the wheels hit the terrain piece and it kind of slows down the whole cart. You can see there, like it's doing there, it's kind of jerking around. It's not exactly going straight, and that's just, again, because of those physics interactions. So I'm curious to see how the 2x size works. But you know, this is a really cool track. We got that big vertical section into the triple loop, into a downwards helix, and then of course up inverted again into another... you can't even see, into another downwards helix. So all I did for this was, which was really cool, is just took the loops and turned them sideways. And then this downward helix is just very nauseating. We'll come out here. Again, the car, you can see with that separation point in each little piece, making sure they have individual rotation. And again, you can see those sort of interactions. It gets a little bit stuck on some of these corners, but it still works pretty decently. It makes it through the whole track. And eventually we'll make it out here. Look at that. And just a really awesome track. I'd love to automate this track. Obviously, I'd want to change it and put some scenery on it first, just to make it a little bit better. And then just over this little correction piece and over the hill. And there we go. Back into the station with no way to stop. Yeah, perfect. Now, before we move on to the bigger track, I wanted to check something really quick. And I haven't really tried this before, but we've got the roller coaster here, and it has 4 cars, each with individual thrusters. And I wasn't sure if the glitches in the terrain are happening simply because we have 4 cars, or if it's just because of the small wheels. And so before we move on to the bigger roller coaster, which is definitely a lot bigger, 2x scale on this hill is insane, I want to try and put just a single car on the track, and I've increased the thrusters on this one to max. So there's just 4 thrusters, a single button, and it is extremely quick. So we should be able to get in here and just bomb along with a single car. You can see right off the bat already kind of glitching in that section, and there too. And it happens more so when it gets up to high speeds. You know, if we free fall like this, it seems to be okay, but then as soon as we hit the thrusters, you can see right off the bat it glitches. So it has something to do with applying power to the vehicle while it's moving, and with the small wheels applying power over the terrain, it gets stuck there. But again, if you let off the throttle, it seems to go through the transitions a lot better. But of course, you need the throttle to continue going through. Yeah, no, see, stuck on the top there. So definitely not better with a single car versus the whole terrain. So over here, we've got the exact same track. Half of it's not loaded. You can see the assets, they don't really load all the time. But way off in the distance there, you've got the triple loop again, the helix down, the helix, 2 helix downs actually. And just all this sort of stuff, the correction piece back here. And this track actually uses large wheels. So before we use this is a 3-train roller coaster. It couldn't be 4 trains long. I wanted to use 4, but there gets to be too many bearings, and I'll show you why in a second. So we'll grab that coaster. The reason why this has more bearings than the small creation is when you scale everything to 2x, it's now an even width creation, and so we had to add this sort of weird snake piece on the back. and in the middle as well. To get that rotation bearing still centered, we have to add these extra 2 bearings on controllers so that the rotation is still happening in the center point and it's not offset. I wanted to make sure that we compared them really as accurately as possible, comparing the two, and the rotation has to be in the center point to make sure that when you go through those barrel rolls, the roller coaster can actually absorb the barrel roll and not get jammed up. So we're gonna just get this one up here. Now I also did double up the wheels, mainly because right here where there was a gap, if we take that inner wheel off, sometimes I found the terrain bar was actually jamming right through that gap. If we hold forward, you can see here, I'm not going to let go of this button the entire time. We're just going to constantly hold the thrust, and you'll see just how much smoother this is at the 2x terrain size. It's actually awesome, and this is the kind of roller coaster you could look at automating because it just doesn't have issues, even at high speeds. I've very, very rarely seen this thing crash. You can see just flawlessly through that loop into the second loop. The camera is also a lot easier to use. I think part of the issue with that, though, is the modded seats. We have the modded seats kind of pressed down into a concrete block, and so the camera gets kind of screwed up. But flawless through that barrel roll transition, and then up through the upper loop. I think we can even put more thrusters on this. We should really max this out. When we get back to the station, I think we should put an extra couple thrusters and see how much faster this thing could really go. But you can see even here through this section, it's just got a lot more sort of, I don't want to say tolerance, but it's a lot more able to handle the random bumps that the terrain throws at you, because these terrain pieces, they do throw you those random bumps still, but for some reason with the larger size, the wheels seem to absorb it better, and we can keep up that speed. Going into the second downward helix here, look at this. It's so flawless. It's really awesome to watch. And I think we can definitely speed this up without any issue. And so you can see, obviously, for all future roller coasters, I think I do want to make an actual roller coaster and make a really cool one, do all sorts of scenery and stuff around it. These are just sort of, you know, free-floating, suspended in midair. But I think if I do that, I want to actually make the roller coaster at the 2x scale right off the bat and make a better-looking roller coaster car than this thing. Maybe do like a hanging roller coaster car or something like that. But we could really make something that could go super quick. Seeing as how this made it through with just a few glitches there you can see on these last couple corners. Not too bad, though. And can we... Of course, there's no brakes. Let's just double up the number of thrusters. This, I don't think we'll be able to go full speed. I think it'll glitch us through the track. But let's double up all the thrusters, and we'll just get up there to wire them up a little bit easier. Oh, no, okay, we'll just, yeah, we'll come back down. No, that's fine. That's what I wanted to do. Go up here. Okay, so we'll just, oh, no, oh boy. I'm so good at this game, guys. We're just wiring this, wiring that. Okay. I think that's good. So they all should be wired up there. We could just do a quick visual test. Looks good. All right, now let's try this at full speed and not let go of the throttle. So right off the bat, you know, it glitches a little bit when it gets into that hill, but it still goes really quickly. You know, glitching a little bit more at the high speeds here, going back and forth. It's wicked quick, though. Holy cow, that is so fast. I actually never tested this before. I figured, you know, 4 engines would be more than enough speed, but this is a super coaster now. Looping back down, full speed there, into this corner. The banked corners seem to actually go better. I mean, maybe it's because we only have 1 tire sideways, where on the horizontal tires there's 2. You know what I mean? Like it's doubled up on the tires, but the inside tires there's only the 1 just to fit in between the groove of the other 2 tires. I mean, we can't really do 2 and 2 because you'd have to do 1 on the outside, but overall just wicked quick. This is actually really, really good. All right, I think we're gonna have to test the train next. So I did take this design after I figured out that that was the wrong button. Now with the 3-part coaster, you can see here, it is the same setup, each one connected into an OR gate. So there's 3 seats. This isn't really a big thing, but any one of the 3 seats will activate all the thrusters if you hit the button. And of course, we do only have 4 thrusters per car, so this should be as fast as the single car we were doing earlier. Now we'll test this one, and then I think we can add more thrusters to it and just get a lot of speed out of it. That I didn't even realize we could go faster than we were going before, but you'll see even with 3 cars, this seems to work great. Now, again, like I said, I didn't add the 4th car because with the 4th car, it got, oh, that's backwards. But with the 4th car, it got super, super laggy, and I think it's because of all the extra bearings that are on this creation, just to keep those rotation points centered. But we'll just get up here into the middle car. We'll go right up to the front, just because, you know, that's the best view, I think. And we'll just hold the 1 button. And again, we're going to hold this button the whole time, not going to let it go, and it should be no problem. You can see there with all 3 cars, having individual thrust really helps out, and just cresting that hill really nicely. I really like, too, how the double-sized roller coaster, it almost feels more fluid in the movements. You can see the movements they're more like, I don't want to say, I don't know how to put it, but they feel more fluid. The smaller roller coaster seems like it's bouncing in the track, whereas the 2x roller coaster seems like it just flows much better through all the lines. Here we go. We'll just go up here. Look at that. This section, I do have to say, that section, you'll see it go kind of horizontal. I actually screwed that up originally, and the whole track was upside down for the second half. So I did a single barrel roll, not realizing that it puts you 180 degrees, and kind of messed up the whole track. So I ended up reversing that. That's why it seems kind of weird. It wasn't supposed to be like that, but, you know, stuff happens. This is a very difficult track to make. When you're dealing with the terrain assets, you have to line them all up. Now, Lord Payne did do a fantastic job of lining up all the assets with the snap points as best he can, but sometimes when you're doing some of these maneuvers and the way the Scrap Mechanic terrain editor works, you have to sometimes go and manually line them up, which isn't too bad. It's just time consuming and takes a bit of effort. Coming through this, you can see very quickly, and no issue here through this barrel roll as well. Look at that, just perfect barrel rolls. Coming back around, excellent, and then dipping back down again, super quick. No issue. Let's see if we can let off the throttle here. I don't know if it'll carry us up the hill or not. Oh, look at that. Perfect. We'll do another 4 on each one, just like we did before, and see if we can get more speed out of this thing. All right, so let's just do this. We should be able to just wire them all up to that OR gate without having to change anything else. All right, so this should be the fastest roller coaster I think we will ever see in Scrap Mechanic. 2x size, super quick. Again, if you guys are interested, I will upload this tile to the workshop just as a test roller coaster tile. There's nothing else on it. The trees are all on other tiles. This is just a very large, extra large tile actually, with just 2 roller coasters sort of floating in the air. But if you are curious about, If you are curious about making your own roller coaster, I would encourage you to download these tiles. Of course, you will need Lord Payne's assets to do that. I will, of course, include the link to his video in the description below for you to go download those and to check out his channel. And he's got a great tutorial on how to install them, so I encourage you to check that out. You know what? I'm so confident in this thing's abilities. We're not even going to use a button. We're going to change the button to a switch. I'm going to have to, you know what, I just realized I have to wire this to all 3 OR gates. That's okay. 1 there, and 1 there, and we'll get the final switch here. This is the confidence we've got here in the success of this design. Switch like so, perfect. All right, let's do this. Get back in here. All right, super coaster test, and just make sure, yeah, they all turned on, and in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, I hope this works. Oh my goodness. And so it's a little bit glitchy the faster you go, but still not as bad as the small car. Holy cow, the speed. Oh my goodness, we are going so fast. Oh my god. So quick through the triple loop. Coming out of the triple loop into the bank turn. Holy cow. Up the loop. Big inverted. Oh, this thing is amazing. I would totally ride this ride and totally not be screaming the whole time. This is actually awesome. So again, I think this might be a little fast. I think we should slow it down just a little bit for an actual design. But again, adding more weight for the cars, it does definitely work better at a larger scale. So I encourage you guys, download this track and try building your own roller coasters after you install all the custom assets. But this is just great. This is so cool. Look at how fast this is. So I think the next objective will be to build another roller coaster track. Definitely build one that's got some scenery involved with it, maybe some cave sections, stuff like that. Definitely going to do it at the 2x scale, and then of course build a proper roller coaster at some point in time. I'm not going to rush into that project, but I think it would be another cool project to work on. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below of these roller coasters. Of course, big shout out to Lord Payne and all the effort he's been putting into these mods. I know I've probably been bugging him like crazy. Every time I play around with these mods, I'll message him and be like, hey, this part would be cool and this part would be kind of cool too. And I think I've just been talking his ear off, but make sure you go show him some love and give him a big thank you for making all these crazy assets. And of course, if you do have Scrap Mechanic, I encourage you, it's free to download these, and they aren't that bad to try out and install. And it's a lot of fun to make cool roller coasters. And of course, the train tracks as well, it's all included in that. So make sure you guys hit up those buttons down below and check out Lord Payne. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.